It is a dream of hundreds, thousands and lakhs of youths in India to join the prestigious civil services examination and to be a part of that great administration. Do you have that dream? And the same lakhs of people who see this great dream fail in this examination, get eliminated at the preliminary examination. Do you also have a fear that you will also fail in this exam? It's like equating, they had the perfect car, they had the driver, it had the almost full tank petrol, but the car still chose the wrong direction. Are you a civil services aspirant like this? And do you have that hundreds and thousands of questions inside you burning? Do you want to start your preparation from the scratch? Then Kickstart is the best session for you. Join the Kickstart initiation and get all the answers, what your preparation, how your preparation should be. Get all the answers in Kickstart. Let's get kickstarted. For the next Kickstart session, the important topic that comes to the fore is how to use your NCERTs. Because from the first day you start preparing, or if you've started to prepare for the civil services and you made a small inquiry, and one possible answer that must have come to you is you should start your preparation from the NCERTs. Yeah, you heard them right. That is correct. You should start your preparation from NCERTs. So the then key question comes, how to study NCERTs? Because this is one thing which you have already studied in your school. Only after reading all this you have gone up to the college, and after that you must have come here for the preparation. So we are going to study something which we used to study in our school. So how to approach NCERTs, and that too when the toppers tell you that you have to read NCERTs from 6 to 12. And that means from 6 to 12 you took 6 years in school to study the whole syllabus. And now suddenly in 1 year you have been asked to study all the 6 years of NCERTs in 1 year, that too with clarity. So how does it happen? I'll tell you a few examples or the reflections which I have seen. Majority of aspirants, you know what you do? Some of them they begin with NCERT only because people say you should begin with NCERTs, which is the right thing. You start from the NCERTs, you read a lot of books from 6th standard, 7th standard, then you suddenly stop. Then you read some other subject. If it is a subject for, say, geography, you suddenly read 6th and 7th and then you leave. And you randomly read chapter 10th standard book. So what happens is, most often what you see is people don't read that NCERTs. And when you start preparing also, time is an essential element. It keeps running. So 6th standard, 7th standard, 8th standard, it's going to be a very difficult task altogether. For that, for all the aspirants who are going to prepare from the scratch, I've got a suggestion to make here. Because why are we studying NCERT? You need to name the basic pillars. By the time, I assume that you have read the syllabus properly, so by this time I'm just counting it. The basic pillars of subjects, which are called Indian history, geography, history, in particular geography, economy, Indian polity, environmental, science, environment, or science and technology. Science and technology is very dynamic because I don't think the last few years questions were not that static. Question from science and technology is to the present. They ask latest technologies or something which has got a current relevance. But that doesn't mean that they don't ask questions from the past also. They ask questions from the static areas also. So you have to study that. By the time you study the syllabus, you must have clearly got that these are the main pillars. So the first part of the preparation, when we say that we need to use NCERTs, you need to study all the subjects: history, geography, Indian polity, Indian economy, environment. You have to get your basics from the NCERT. That is the sole purpose. How do you do it? That's the key question. Will you start studying from 6 to 12? Okay, I'm gonna sit in my class of 6th. In my dream, I'm gonna sit in my 6th standard class. I'm gonna study from 6th, then I'll slowly move on to 7. then I'll slowly move on to 8, then 9, 10, 11, 12 with 1 year. I don't think that is a better or a good strategy, because that is what I said in the beginning. You took 6 years to graduate from 6 to 12 in your school. So it's not going to be an easy task for you. That is why I'm going to tell you, when you read your NCERTs, take out subjects separately and use what I tell you called as a filter. Use a NCERT filter. I'll tell you how it works. Either you can work it digitally or offline. Not everybody is comfortable with digital. You can also work it in offline also, in paper. But I strongly suggest, now everybody uses computer. If you can actually use computer, there are advantages of it. Now I'll tell you how to use a filter when you study NCERTs. That's what we call as an NCERT filter. I'll tell you that. First of all, say imagine history. And you know, for the most important part of history, for preliminary examination as well as the mains examination, history is divided into ancient India, medieval India, modern India, culture, world history, etc. And you know that world history is a topic which appears only in the mains examination, GS paper 1. I hope you have read the syllabus. And Indian culture is something that is appearing throughout for prelims as well as mains. And the most important area for prelims, number 1 is ancient India, medieval India, modern India. Out of that, modern India plays, or freedom struggle plays, an important part for mains as well. So that means out of the history, say ancient India, medieval India, modern India, the first thing to start off is with modern India, because the advantages when you study modern India, the coverage of that is going to be maximum. That doesn't mean that you don't have to study ancient and medieval. We have to study, but planning, priority is very different. Modern India, if you study it properly, the return on investment, the coverage that you are getting is huge. And you're going to study the modern India. So you must have seen that you have to start from 6 to 12. How do you solve it? Here comes the applicability of UPSC filter. As a part of this filter, all you have to do is take NCERTs of 6 to 12, because that is the base of the preparation. Take all the NCERTs of 6 to 12. I think PDFs are easily available now. You can directly download it from NCERT also. So take the 6 to 12 NCERTs. Please be very careful when you do it. This is the filter. And the first task, read the index. Say you're taking history of 6th standard. Take history, read the index. You'll see chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5. Okay. And after that, you go into chapter 1. You simply flip the pages and you see what is being described in the chapter, and please write down the major subheadings of the chapter. Okay, if this is the kings and people, society and this, what is all this? Just type or write down the filter or the subheadings of each chapter. That means if there are 10 chapters, you read the index, you read the chapter's name, you know what is the content all about. So write about what is the content that it speaks about randomly. So you know what is the chapter, what is the name of the content, and what are the subheads. Take history of 7th standard. Take history of 8th standard, 9th standard, 10th standard, 11th and 12th. Do the same indexing. Write down the subheads. That's a pretty exhaustive thing, but you're all beginning to study. This will create wonders. Mark it, I'll tell you. So you have completed the history filtering of NCERT from 6 to 12. Now what we are going to do, we'll study modern India. We'll use the old NCERT. That is Bipin Chandra's old NCERT. Let's take that. We'll use the plus 2 or a 11th standard Bipin Chandra book as the main book. You'll read it. And when you read these chapters, use that book to study modern India. And after that, you know what you'll do? Because the first chapter, there is a chapter called 1857 Revolt. All I'm going to do is, I'll just check into my computer. I'll just type 1857 in the history filter. Class. Say, just imagine that you're getting 6th standard, no reference. In 7th standard, you have a chapter called, yes, I have a chapter for modern India. 1857, there is a mention. 8th, no. 9th, yes, there is a mention of 1857. So that means, this is just an example, okay? You're just checking 1857 Revolt. The major book is the NCERT of 11th or 12th. You're also searching that chapter. It seems that from the 6th and 12th, 3 books, that means in 7th, 9th or 10th, you have the same chapter being discussed. Read the main book, Modern India, and go to the filter and read the 3 chapters. What is the final output that you have? That means, yes, I've got it. From 1857 revolt perspective, I've covered the entire thing from history. Did you see the easiness of that? Let's discuss geography also. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You'll do the indexing. 6th, 7th, what you'll take the book, you'll take the index, you'll write down, and you from each chapter, say Earth and Universe, you'll write down what are the major subheads, how Earth was formed. You'll write all the subheads, and in one column, just for a quick reference, tell what is the chapter is. This chapter is about the origin of Earth. You do it for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and as usual, you know, 11th and 12th NCERTs are the base of NCERTs. That is an important point. 11th and 12th NCERTs are the base of NCERTs. You need to study geography. Perfect. What do you want to study? You want to study Indian geography or world geography? Let's say world geography. You're taking Earth and the universe. From the, say, imagine you're taking from the 11th or 12th chapter, world geography, principles of geography, the concepts of geography. You're taking that chapter, Earth and universe. That means if you read that NCERT of 11th and 12th of that chapter, you'll get the complete idea of NCERT, especially Earth and universe. Now you're going for the filter. That's the word, filter. You're just typing Earth, universe. Now the results comes in your own Word file or PDF that you created. 6th standard, 3rd chapter. This is all example, okay? Don't go and tell me that there is no 3rd chapter in the 6th book. No, just example. You find that 6th standard, 4th chapter is Earth and universe. 7th no, 8th no, 9th standard there is a chapter for this, and in 10th standard also there is a small reference of this. So that means you have 4 areas to learn. You use your main reference, that is 11th or 12th main book, find out what the Earth and universe is all about, and just see all the chapters that your search results showed. That means 4 places to find. What is the final takeaway? The final takeaway is that according to Earth and universe, you studied the main book and you studied all the important concepts of Earth and universe in different NCERTs also. So that means my concept clarity for this chapter, Earth and universe, is perfect. So that is the perfect way of filtering. Now I think you're getting the advantages of filtering, and I'm telling you, this works well only because you have limited time, or if you're targeting 1 year in front of you, you don't have that comfortability to actually start from 6, because you will not end up anywhere. You'll get stuck at some point of time. So you need, because 11th and 12th standard NCERTs almost covers everything. At least 70 to 80% of the frame of the topics is same, which 6th standard, 7th standard, 8th standard talks about. At least 85% is the frame is same. You'll find some new things in 6th standard, 7th standard. If I ask you a question from 6th standard NCERT, especially geography regarding the continent size, which is very evidently given in that, many of you will not even answer this question, even if you study geography well. So that is why 85% of geography's content, the frame of the topic is 11th and 12th. That is why I say 11th and 12th is the basic reference of NCERT. And filtering is the only solution for you in this limited time span to study and get, because NCERT is a pedal stone. What do you mean by pedal stone? Because this is a pedal stone where you step in and you jump to the main reference books, because you have to read a lot of standard books. I mean, not a lot, but 1 or 2 good standard books to cover your ideas or infos. That means there should be a pedal stone or a springboard to jump. NCERTs are basically that springboards to jump into the main content. If you do it perfectly, when you jump and go to a standard book, it is actually under the assumption that you know a lot of good things. I have a strong basic knowledge, concrete knowledge of all the things. So when I make a jump, my study is becoming more easy. That is the logic of doing that. So we discussed about Earth, we discussed it about history. Try it again. We talked about the principles of geography. Try Indian geography also. You want to try, say, let's say soils. There is a chapter of India called Soils, Indian Geography. Read the basic NCERT of 11th or 12th, find out which chapter of soil comes, Indian geography, read soil, get an idea about soil, just do the filter. Filter work. Then you will see that, say, example, 6th standard soil, 7th standard there is a chapter, 8th no, 9th yes, 10th no. That means 6, 7, 9 there is a mention of soil. When you read the means reference of 11th or 12th NCERT, you read the soils chapter, you just simply filter it. I think you are getting almost everything of the concept called soil. That is the best way of using NCERTs in a limited time. And this pretty well works for history, geography, etc. And it works well for economy also, because there is no subject called economics. You have Indian economy. So from anyway, you have to read a standard book, because economy, as you know, is divided into macro economy, Indian economy, and the current affairs of economy, which has an implication of both basic as well as Indian economy. So you have to learn Indian economy over the years and principles of macroeconomy, how economy works in India, or what are the macroeconomic indicators. So that is something we have to study. So for that, you cannot right away go into the subject because you don't know anything. For that, it's better that you go to the NCERTs and find out how economy is actually pasted, just like we paste cream or butter in the bread. How it is, economy is pasted in the NCERTs. You can actually pick it from 6th standard to 12th standard, find out in which all areas are coming. Likewise, find Indian polity is also important. You don't have a topic such as Indian polity, you may have civics, which we have learnt in the school classes. So find out, you know the syllabus of polity, so you know what is the syllabus of polity. You will find important areas of this in your lower classes also. So you take Indian polity and find out from 6 to 12, that is the range. 6 to 12, in this range, 6, 7, 8, 9, which are the following chapters or years of syllabus covers topics related to polity. Mark it, read it. You can do it for environment also. So this is what we call as a filter. And if you have 1 or more years, then I think you can continuously on a sequence basis read from 6 to 12. There is no harm in doing that. Some people want continuity. But my point is, even the filter concept has got a continuity. That is your base reference of NCERT, which is called as 11, 12. You read it and you filter it. You know, I'll tell you one more the drawbacks of filtering offline. Offline, you read say environment book of 6th standard. You take it, you read the contents, and you write the indexes, and for each chapter you'll write what is this chapter about. This chapter talks about environmental science, and then you actually clearly write the answer to this. So the point is, when you do a filter, computer easily processes the answer. But when you do it in a paper, what happens is, it's also possible. That means when you study soil, you have to go check 6th standard index and filter no soil. Yeah, 7th standard there is a soil. The only thing is you have to do it manually. And the other thing is you can do it in digitally also with a click of a search. This is the concept of NCERT's filter, and I think you'll start doing it because it will save a lot of time, and there is no point of simply skipping NCERTs. I know NCERT's contents are the same in the standard reference book also. If you have a base on every subject, you can also read standard books, because you'll right away understand. When you read about history, you don't even have any idea about what the history was. You jump straight into a standard reference book, you feel that the dots are not connected. So NCERTs, as I said, is a springboard, is a pedal board to jump to the main content with clarity, because clarity is a word. When you read NCERTs, you get a lot of clarity. Okay, this is my idea. Then I read the standard books. The point is, the coverage of the standard books will happen in a less time. That is the key. So I think next time when you read NCERTs, NCERT Filter is something that will help you a long way in your civil services preparation. Try it. See the magic of NCERT filters.